The Tipping Point, Malcolm Gladwell. How little things can make a big difference. The Lord of the Pew. A. What makes people like Mark Alpert so important in starting epidemics? Obviously, they know things that the rest of us don't. They read more magazine than the rest of us, more newspaper, and they may be the only people who read chunk mail. Mark Albert happened to be a connoisseur of electronic equipment. If there was a breakthrough new television or video camera and you were a friend of his, you can bet you would hear all about it quickly. Maybe have the knowledge and the social skill to start word of mouth epidemics. What sets Mavens apart, though, is not so much what they know, but how they piece it along. The fact that Mavens want to help for no other reason than because they like to help turn out to be an awfully effective way of getting so much attention. This is surely part of the explanation for why Paul Laban's message was so powerful on the night of his midnight ride. News of the British March did not come by fax or by means of group email. It wasn't broadcast on the nightly news surrounding by commercials. It was carried by a man, a volunteer. Riding on a cold night is no personal agenda other than a concern for the liberty of his peers. It pushy poopy as well. Perhaps the shoes caught the attention of conductor precisely because they weren't part of any self-conscious commercial fashion trend. Maybe a fashion maven went to the East Village looking for a new idea and found out that you could get these really cool old Hershey puppies at a certain thrift store for a very good price, and told his friends who bought the shoes for themselves because there is something about the personal, disinterested, expert opinion of a maven that make us all sit up and listen. And why are the Jaguar restaurant guides so popular? Partly it's because they are a convenient guide to all restaurants in a given town. But their real power derives from the fact that the reviews are the report of volunteers of dinners who want to share their opinion with others. Somehow they represent a more compelling recommendation than the opinion of an expert whose job is the rate restaurant. While I was talking to Albert, I happened to mention that I was going to be in Los Angeles in a few weeks. There is a place I really like in Westwood, he said, without hesitation. The country Welsh. It's a European bed and breakfast. They have very nice rooms, a heated pool, underground parking. Last time I was there 5-6 years ago, rooms started in the 70s and junior suite were 110. They'll give you a rate for a week. They've got an 800 number. Since he was, after all, you are a maven. I stayed at the Century Welshire when I was in LA, and it was everything he said it was and more. In a few weeks of coming home, I had completely out of character. I might add recommended the Century Welshire to two friends of mine, and within the months, two more. And as I began to imagine how many people of those I told about the hotel that told about the hotel, and how many people like me, Mark Albert, himself told about the hotel, I realized that I had stepped into the middle of the little Mark Albert generated word of mouth epidemic. Albert, of course, probably doesn't know as many people as a connector like Roger Hocho, so he doesn't quite have the same low transmission power. But then again, if Roger Hocho talked to you on the eve of the trip to Los Angeles, he might not give you advice on where to stay. Albert always would. And if Hocho did make a recommendation, you might take him up on it or you might not. You would take the advice as seriously as you take advice from any friend. But if Mark Alpert gave you advice, you would always take it. A connector might tell 10 friends where to stay in Los Angeles, and half of them might take his advice. Maven might tell 5 people where to stay in Los Angeles, but make the case for the hotel so emphatically that all of them would take his advice. These are different personalities at work, acting for different reasons, but they both have the power to spark word of mouth epidemics.